Hi everyone and welcome back to ApexNet Labs. In this tutorial, we are going to take the next step and learn how to configure IP addresses on a router interface. Before we start, let's quickly understand what this means. When you assign an IP address to a router, you're not assigning it to the router itself. You are assigning it to each interface. Think of a router as a building with multiple doors. Each door connects to a different street and each door has its own address. That's exactly how a router works. Each interface connects to a different network and needs its own IP address. That's what makes routing possible. Now, let's add a router to our topology. Drag a router into the workspace and connect it to the switch using a copper straight-through cable. Connect the router's gigabyte Ethernet 0/0 interface to the switch. Now we will configure the IP address on the router interface. Click on the router and go to the CLI tab. Press Enter and type the following commands. We type enable to go into privileged mode. Then configure terminal to go into global configuration mode. We can change the setting in this mode. Then we need to choose the interface. Which interface we want to assign an IP address to. Interface gigabyte Ethernet 0/0. Then we need to assign an IP address to that interface. We type IP address and then the IP address we want to assign to that interface. 192.168.1.1 and the subnet mask, which is 255.255.255.0. And then we type no shutdown. The no shutdown command is very important. It activates the interface because by default, router interfaces are turned off. We press exit, then another exit. To verify the configuration, you can type show IP interface brief. Now you should see that the interface has an IP address and the status is up. Next, we will configure the PCs. Open PC1 and go to Desktop, IP Configuration. Set the following: IP address 192.168.1.10, the one that we used in the previous lab. The subnet mask automatically will come up, and the default gateway is 192.168.1.1. This is the IP address we used for the router interface. Do the same for PC2. The IP address should be 192.168.1.20 and the subnet mask 255.255.255.0. The default gateway 192.168.1.1. The default gateway is the router's interface IP address. It allows devices to send data outside their local network. Now let's test connectivity. Open command prompt on PC1 and type ping 192.168.1.1. If everything is configured correctly, you should receive replies from the router. This confirms that your PC is successfully communicating with the router. In the next tutorial, we will add a second network and learn how a router forwards data between different networks. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.